We're always in a state of readiness. Signet, we also own our own law firm. So the deal-making aspect of this, we're always ready. As an example, just this morning, got a technology company was sent to me from a guy I know down in Florida. Said this company wants to be acquired. Thought of you. Said had another guy send from here in Northeast Ohio. Sent me about a distributor that's looking for investment. We're taking a look at that. We're just on the way in, just closed on another deal to invest in a technology company out of New Jersey. So we're constantly ready for the deals to come in. What we always are trying to do is filter out the ones we're not interested in as quickly as possible. I think the other side appreciates a no answer quickly, as I talked about earlier. But the important thing is so we can focus in on the ones that we want to look at, because many times you're getting started, you think you're interested, and as you go into the due diligence, you find out in a hurry that, oh, we're not interested in this, and we got to move on. First of all, I've had deals that haven't worked. I've had deals that the deal didn't go through and it's hurt. I've had deals where it did go through and then later on the business went under. I mean, I've had those type of deals. Biggest thing is I would tell everybody is put the pain behind you. In other words, sometimes they try to drag it out and so forth when it's so obvious that you've got to move on. I remember one time writing out a pretty hefty check back when it was really hurt for me to do that so I could move on and so forth. So I think the biggest thing, trying to move on and so forth, make sure that you're transparent in what you're trying to do, that you're not catching everybody off guard and so forth. But there comes that point in time where if it's bad, you just got to move on. Driven, smart people do not want to be managed. You have to give them the highway and make sure they follow the highway, but they are driven. You have to find those type of people that are driven. I do not like yes men. I like people that are respectively candid. I mean, we're not going to have a fist fight in the middle of something, but the point is you want to have people that can express their opinions about the direction we're going on a particular deal, as an example, and make sure that everybody can think through it. I always remember when I was in college, one of the most influential things that ever happened, John McConnell, Worthington Industries, Mr. Mac, as they called him. At the time, I went to Ohio State undergrad. The Midwest, people were fleeing it. We referred to it as the Rust Belt. Everybody's leaving. His business in the steel industry was booming. Everybody else, the plants in Youngstown were closing. And I always remember he came in and he was like a rock star. I remember I was in a business school. And the professor that introduced him went on for, it seemed like forever, I'm sure it was only 5 minutes, talking about all the great things Mr. McConnell had done for the community. And I remember he got up there and said, that's great. He said, that was the nicest introduction I've ever had. Probably should sit down now before, because it was so nice. And then all of a sudden he looks at everybody and goes, but everything he said there is true. And there's lots of things I do for the community that no one knows about. So I'm going to tell you kids about the 20 things you need to do to make sure you can do these things for your community. Of course, back then there's no PowerPoint presentation or anything, so he had those overhead projectors, So he says, I want you to draw 1 through 20 in a column form. And we all get our papers out, we all 1 through 20. And I remember he puts EPS, number 1, draws a line all the way through 19. And number 20, he writes, money for your community, civic, and other charitable activities. He goes, you want to do the most for your community? Start a business. He says, that way those people have money to give to their community and so forth. And I remember walking out of there thinking, that's what I'm going to do.